This is a standard size trading card. This is an oversized trading card. Hello guys, how's it going? So, I'm Chris, as you are all probably aware, and in this video today we are going to be looking at how to create, or how you can create your own homemade oversized trading cards. Now, both sides, 300, I think it's about 310 paperweight in total, and as you can see in the video down below, they've come out really well. We have got the new set 4 Paradoxical Moment, we have got the set 2 power card Crystal Golem, and a set 3 power card, which is Ramus. And I'm going to be going step by step through each stage how you guys can create these. Now, people have these, or should I say companies have these, basically more so as a promotional feat. You can obviously use them as giveaways if you wanted to. For example, we're going to be having a little meetup this weekend, so we're going to be having a couple of these oversized cards, you know, signed and handed out to some of the guys. But you know, you can put them in promotional packs. Basically, that's all they are. It could just be a showpiece on the side of your workspace for your YouTube videos. But yes. So, what you're going to need to do, it's actually a lot simpler than you think. This is a method I've been using for my previous trading cards on the homemade side of them. And basically, because these are the promotional, you know, non-playable cards, you're a bit more free as to what type of paper you can use. Because when you're trying to create actual playing cards, you need to be a bit careful with the glossy, and funnily enough, the glossy paper actually sticks to itself, and it's quite a bad thing. So for this video, for this product, should we say, we're going to be using this, which is Kodak 165 glossy paper. The end results come out beautiful, which is what you've just seen on the screen, and obviously we're not going to be playing with these cards, although that will be quite funny to see. So we're going to be using this. Don't use this paper for if you're trying to create your own playing cards, because they just won't work. So yeah. So first thing, what you are going to need to do is open your favourite image editor and create an A4 piece of canvas. So here we are. All you got to do is just make sure you're on A4 here. You don't have to bother about anything down. It'll be down below. Press OK, and then you will get your canvas. Next up, you are going to want to import your design. So we're going to be importing Salazar. So you just basically click and drag, and you want to copy this over to your new, and then basically all we're going to do is resize this. Now, a decent size, what I've found, is 175% of what the original image is. Now, this card is a Game Crafter template, by the way. So if you've got a Game Crafter template, this is the size you will want. Perfect for what we need to do, and we basically just drag it somewhere near the top there. And then next up, we are going to be importing the card back. Now hopefully I can just find this where I need to find this, and then you just do the same again. You just copy that into there, resize it to 175. I found 175 is a really nice size to go for, because it's just under 4 times the size of, sorry, it's under double the size of your original card. Now, a little trick what I tend to do is just leave a little 1mm gap, 1 or 2mm gap between the edges of the card there, and that is basically it. Anything bigger than 175, you're going to be messing about with borders. So just save that as a document somewhere. I've just got a folder here called Oversized Promos. Save it as a PNG. We're just going to call it Oversized Salazar. And there we go. That is the basic creation of your card. So next up, we're going to be printing the thing. So I need to remember where I have saved these. There we are. and if you're in Windows, you basically just right click and print, and then you want these settings here now. So obviously choose your printer, A4, you want high quality, and make sure this is set high resolution paper. If you do not set high resolution paper, some of your text will be blurry, a couple of the corners won't be as square as you think they are, and it uses next to not much extra ink, if I'm completely honest. This isn't necessary, you can have it on, you can have it off, it's completely optional for what we're doing in this one, and then we're going to send this to the printer. Okay guys, so as you can see the paper is just starting to be fed through here. A little tip what I tend to do is just support the paper just a little bit underneath the paper like that, because as soon as it comes out print it starts to warp paper a little bit. You'll probably find this will happen with pretty much any type of paper regardless. It's also one good reason why we leave the border around the edge as well, so that the paper, the border can try and support the paper weight just that little bit extra. Okay, so we've just printed this off. First thing you're going to want to do, because the paper can curl at times, and you'll have to excuse this messy ass desk, you're going to have to put it under some flat weight for about an hour, just to ensure that the ink is dried. As you can tell, it's soft to the touch, it's dry to the touch, should I say, but the paper will try to curl. So what you're going to want to do is get something like a basic piece of plywood, or just something generally flat, where you can add a bit of weight on top, a bit more weight if you want, or you want to leave it like that for about an hour. Alright, so a couple of hours has passed. We're going to see how the drying has, or how the drying is. Take out all this weight off the top now. That should be more than enough time. We will be needing that again shortly, so be sure to keep hold of that. And then what we're going to be doing is basically we're going to be scoring. Do you remember that 1mm gap down the middle? So we're going to be scoring that. Make sure it's on the score and not cut. And as you can see, there's just a tiny little line between the two images there, and that's where we're going to be scoring. If you don't have a scoring tool, you can very carefully use a knife or a ruler. And I'm probably best putting this camera stand down. Yes, hopefully you guys can see that. There we go. Alright, so make sure that it's straight. My little guillotine comes with a little guidelines down here as well, so that I know that the piece of A4 is perfectly straight. So I'm just going to score it a couple of times. Like that. And this will make folding the card a lot more easier. So that will now score. I'll just lift that up a bit. So that will now fold, or at least it should fold, perfectly down the spine of the card. We will be lobbing that bit off at some point later on. Obviously you need to try and get that crease as low as possible. Make sure your hands are clean, because you will probably smudge any dirt or anything you've got on your fingers. You've got a ruler or just a bit of extra weight just to ensure that that is folded down. And then we're going to be taking some good old-fashioned Pritt stick, some stick glue. This actually turns out to be the best thing. I mean, there's spray adhesive, but this is just an indoor tutorial really, so we're not going to be spraying adhesives and stuff in the room, but we're going to be using good old-fashioned stick glue. And basically we're going to be, you will also notice that one side is wider than the other, so put the wider side down on the bottom, and then we're basically just going to give this a good old glue in. And then we're just going to be, as you've guessed it, this way you need to make sure your fingers are clean, there's no glue on the side, because this is the point where if it wanted to stick. See, it just caught my finger on the border. We will literally just push it down, and now you're going to need to give it another more couple of hours with some weight on top. So again, if you've got your plywood, or anything very similar, we can just add the weight while the glue dries. You will probably have to leave this twice as long as how we left the wood on the previous video when the ink was dry. So we're going to leave that for a couple of hours, and then we're going to see how it's done. Okay people, so it's the following day. We're going to see how well this card is actually flattened out, and hopefully it's come out pretty well. So we're basically going to remove all the weight, and the glue should have dried quite nicely overnight. So we're going to basically get on with the trimming, the corner cutter, and so on and so forth. So already because this is 150 GSM paper, folded over, this card weight is now 300. If you wanted to put a core in the card, then obviously you would downgrade this paper to 100 GSM, get yourself some 100 GSM coloured card, and then you would slot it in between and glue it in between the two pieces, what we have here, and that's how you would create a core. Anyway, we're not doing the core in this video, so all seems well for the cut. So all we're going to do is run it under the guillotine. I just need to make a little adjustment there. So yeah, like I said before, this guillotine has got like a little ruler tool here, so we can make sure that the line, that the cut is going to be perfectly straight, judging that this piece was straight to begin with. So you're only going to want about 3 or 4 millimeter off this gap. So again, I'm going to line it with this ruler, it's just a little bit off, so I'm just going to straighten it up. And we're going to do that for all 4 sides. Okay, so we're nearly there. As you can see, we're getting with it now. We've got the corners. Obviously, we can't leave the corners as sharp as they are. So this guillotine actually comes with a little corner cutter. You can buy them separately off eBay, and basically it just gives you a nice round corner on the 4 edges. Okay, so that's the finished product. I'm just going to get a little stand. So there's the finished product. Get a bit closer. A bit too close. Ah well, it needs to stand anyway. But there's finished product. Basically, what you can use as a promotional. You could use it as a prize for a tournament. If you ever have a meetup, you could give it with a meetup. You can sign them. Obviously, I'm going to get like a gold Sharpie or something and just put like a little squiggle of my name somewhere in the corner. But overall, it's a really really nice piece, and this is basically how you can create your own oversized trading cards. So that is that's the video, guys. It's got quite seems quite sturdy. It's a little bit flexible, but given the size of it, you can't really. The only way to get around that is by printing on thicker paper, or thicker cards, should I say. And as I mentioned earlier, don't run the paper what we've used in this video. Don't use that paper if you're wanting to create actual cards what goes in an actual deck, because the cards will just stick together. You want something a bit more matte or semi-gloss for that, where this is pure gloss, so it will literally just stick against a card what's behind it. So yeah, let me know what you think in the video, guys, and hopefully this has proved a little bit useful for you. Thanks very much, and I'll see you around.